Were you one of the children who were afraid that at night there would be a monster hiding under the white carpet or behind the cupboard? If this tenderness was a face alone, whether you were born in Egypt, Lebanon, or even in the mountains of Switzerland, it is definitely worth its reputation about savage creatures. Freight bits point at only one person at night, so they frighten or harm children who behave wrongly and defeat their parents. How many times has someone told you that if you don't listen to the words, the bogeyman or the ghoul will come to you or with a skinned leg? But thank God, you have grown up, my friend, and all these monsters have disappeared. But the bitter truth is that she did not disappear, but rather transformed or changed into another image. But for Aisha, Joanna turned into ghosts and fears that exist in the depths of our brain. It has become a part of us and appears in many forms, such as the monster of fear of failure, the monster of change, rejection, and others. The problem with these monsters of fear is that it is not easy to get rid of them, because they are not entities far away from us, and we will not be able to bring a door to open the closet and return it. No, these are fears inside us that we must acknowledge and understand. If we ignore it, it will continue, and it will continue to leave you and leave you everywhere, like a small child who wants his family to take care of him. In principle, we must understand these monsters well. This means that it is useful to fight a monster without understanding its nature and how it works, and this is what the book of our episode today will present. The monster that lives in you can be gentle by choosing it, translated by Anas Samir. Now, let's see the story of the monster that lives in you. It can be nice. We will talk about 5 types of fear and how to tame them for our benefit. So, prepare your beautiful cup of tea and go to the ghost house. The first ghost is the fear of failure, and to be honest, we all hate failure and try to avoid it at all costs. But for some people, this failure is a major psychological threat. It makes their actions and motivations to avoid failure much more than the desire for success, and what we do not care about is that it is possible that this fear of failure is what wastes their chances of success in the first place. The fear of failure occurs as a result of many reasons, including that you are in an environment that does not support you, and here it will be very difficult to succeed. This means that if you show your drawing to someone and hear their harsh criticism, then you will most likely never fall in love with the drawing again. The lack of a supportive environment is enough to kill your self-confidence, make you doubt it, and terrify you from any other attempt. The reason remains focusing on a previous failure. We all fail, my friend, at something at some point, and this is normal and natural. By the way, no one knows about the failure of an entity's idea. When we bring Thomas Edison's biography, we say the failure is that we started a company for grinding raw materials, and it failed. We do not say that this is the inventor of the light bulb. May God enlighten him. The third reason for the fear of failure is lack of self-confidence, lack of management of mistakes, and this negative outlook that makes you link your high value to your achievements. You will see that if you fail, all of your value will be destroyed. You will be terrified of failure. The final reason is perfectionism. If you are a person who seeks perfection in everything, you will find that the slightest degree of failure will slow you down. And you try to avoid it, even if this means that you prefer your place. Secret, good, green. These are the reasons for the fear of failure. What should I do to overcome this fear before I tell you how to overcome it? You must first know the importance of failure and that it is necessary to fail. Tell me why first, because failure is an inevitable topic. We all fail. Also, because what you learn from failure is much more than what you will learn from success, and there is something I know, but it is true, which is that failure makes you stronger. Failure is what separates the strong from the weak, The weak is the one who fails and does not rise, and the strong is the one who fails and learns. What is important is that failure, no matter how painful it is, may still be the beginning of your path, because the hours of failure make you completely change your path. And you discover that your current job, for example, is of no use to you, and the card is not worth it. Finally, failure makes the taste of success much sweeter. Well, failure came to my senses, and how did he overcome the fear of failure? You must first acknowledge your fear and confront yourself with it, then look into its causes. You can seek the help of a specialist to find out the root of the problem and in what situation you are afraid of it. Imagine the scenario of failure in your mind. What does it look like? What is the result? This is a useful exercise because when you imagine a complete situation, your fear of it will decrease because you will begin to see solutions to it and become a reality in your life. Set clear and specific goals that you can actually achieve in order to reduce the possibility of failure. Another important thing in overcoming the fear of failure is that you must always have an alternative plan, which means that you should not pin all your hopes on one thing only. You must also change your view of failure. While you know the famous story of Edison, when you ask about his repeated failure and he says he doesn't regret it, he says, "I didn't fail 10 times. I succeeded in discovering 10 times. The bulb method doesn't work. Do you know it? Why don't you apply it?" Finally, for many hours, your fear of failure will be completely imaginary, and here is your turn to say to yourself out loud, "I will complete and succeed." This is not a guarantee of success, but at least your confidence in yourself will increase and you will try. Thus, we eliminated the bogeyman of the fear of failure that is coming, and it is completely opposite, and some people may be surprised that this is a fear at all, which is the fear of success. Oh, my friend, there are many people who are afraid of success. Listen to me. Why are you asking me? Of course. I tell you, they are not afraid of success itself, but they are afraid of its cost and what comes with it. I mean, success is inevitable, and I don't want change to come with it. Even if it's the change you want, if you try it and fail, at least you will return to the situation you knew and were accustomed to, no matter how upset you are. But if you succeed, you will go to an unknown place with more responsibilities and more expectations, and this is what scares you. I mean, the fear of success includes many things, such as the fear of losing yourself. It means that there are people who fear success in order to become tempted, for example, and remain a worse version of themselves. There is also the fear of sudden and violent reactions. I mean, people may be afraid of success because of societal reactions. Women, for example, in our societies may avoid promoting themselves as a business and the illusion of success, because this is not in line with traditional gender roles. What is socially acceptable also includes the fear of success, the fear that we are not smart enough, and this is called imposter syndrome, which makes us doubt ourselves and our abilities. Despite our education, experience, and the testimony of everyone around us, we may be afraid of roles. I mean, introverts may be afraid of success because they do not want the spotlight to shine on them, and of course fear of change, as we said, but do not be afraid. Overcoming the fear of success is not impossible, and the first step to overcoming it is to develop your internal awareness of it and admit to yourself that it almost controls you and try to understand its cause. IT will help you in this if you start recording your diary every day for 20 minutes. For example, writing everything that comes to your mind when you think about your fear of success, and continue this for a week or more until you know everything about your fear. Then you need to take care of your actions that spoil your chances of success and progress, because unfortunately this fear can appear in the form of procrastination, and you do not take care. Now, it remains for you to stop these behaviors, and not only do you stop them, you also confront them, which means you start dealing with the situations that you were afraid of and try to prove to your mind through your behaviors. You are not afraid of success or anything, but start gradually. I mean, if you are afraid to do a presentation in front of a lot of people, start with someone from your family, and then do a presentation in front of your friends, and so on. With these steps, you can overcome the ghost of fear of success and unleash your potential. Finally, we got rid of the first two ghosts, but the battle continues with a new ghost, my friend. A ghost no less dangerous than the previous two ghosts, which is the fear of change. This fear is very common and very widespread, and this is because change is really difficult for all people, but the problem continues to happen when this fear causes us paralysis in simple situations or in situations of change. Like what? Like the fear of ending a relationship, it is known that it is a failure and harmful because the person is afraid that he will remain single, and this type of fear. It often comes from childhood, meaning if this person was born into a negative home where his family always complained about the difficulty of life, when he grows up he will have a fear of change because it has made him feel that life is coordinated no matter what his path. He lives passively and surrenders to anything, and he is okay with it if the person's family suffered from traumas such as poverty or abuse in childhood, and they always say that life is dangerous and unpredictable. This makes their children stagnate due to the fear of changing the slightest thing because it could lead to something that is not safe. How can we overcome the fear of change? The secret is to get out of the comfort zone. There are many strategies that can help you with this, the first of which is to take the first step in theory. All you have to do is take the first step. Go to the gym, wake up early for the first time. Everything is difficult at the beginning. But as long as you start, the chances that you will continue will increase. Next time, put yourself in a new environment and start with small changes, just as you used to eat. Even if you have two options, do not choose the easier one. Take a risk to learn and mature, something that will also help you get out of your comfort zone. You get used to making small decisions quickly, and you must surround yourself with good people who provoke your thinking and disagree with them. There is nothing wrong with letting those around you decide on your behalf. Oh, if these are adventurous people who like to take risks, and the last secret to getting out of the comfort zone is to think that tomorrow is a new day. Leave him in need of something really new and different. What comes after the fear of change? The fear that comes is the fear of the unknown. Why should we be afraid of it? Because we naturally fear what we do not know. Fear is one of our primitive and basic instincts, and it is natural that when we face a situation whose outcome is not clear, we feel uncomfortable and ask ourselves, are we safe or not? This is an innate fear and we cannot control it. But when this fear seeps into everything in our lives and makes us doubt everything around us, it will create a big problem because there is no longer any fear of the unknown. This remains a fear of all of life because it is impossible to know everything, but we must live, experience, go out, and deal with God. How do we overcome it? Okay, this is what I feared the most. The first thing you must understand is your fear. This fear is part of our nuclear and human DNA, and it is not strange that we feel it when we approach something unknown. But when this fear of ours has no evidence, it cannot be brought into our lives, so you must look for the reason for your fear. I mean, if you are afraid because you are actually in a dangerous situation, this is normal, but the second fear that has no evidence is that you must know the reason for it in order to overcome it, and then question your fear. What is the evidence that supports my fear in the situation I am in now? And if it is true, how do I act and learn to accept fear? Look, my friend, anything new that we try is accompanied by a feeling of discomfort, confusion, and doubt, and this is normal, but once you accept this discomfort, the discomfort will decrease a lot. Just as you accepted fear, you must accept change itself with happiness, because you cannot avoid change in your life. Accept it and you will find that it will open doors for you to a world of opportunities that there is no other. Finally, practice mental alertness. Because your fear of the unknown arises from your thoughts and beliefs that exist in your mind a lot, and of course they will not disappear quickly, as the matter requires commitment and training. So that your mind is alert and present to what is going on in your mind and is able to push away these negative thoughts and not drown in them and ignore reality. Now, we will explore the last type of fear, which is the fear of rejection. Ready for the last ghost? We all love to feel cared for, accepted, and appreciated by those around us, and this is something innate within us, but this desire for attention often comes with fear and terror of rejection. This terror affects many things in our lives, such as our choices in education, work, our personal relationships, and many others, although the truth is that rejection is a natural part and there is no escape from it in our lives. Excessive fear is not healthy at all, especially since it can make us do harmful things, such as trying to please everyone around you at the expense of yourself because you are afraid that if you reject people, you will be upset. You may also pretend that you like things that you do not like just because you like those around you, or that you become completely vigilant and distance yourself from all people for fear that someone will reject you and you will isolate yourself. The solution is to try to reduce this feeling of fear and learn how to avoid two people from your experience of rejection, because all people are exposed to rejection. Yes, how can that be? There is a lot that can help. The first is to know that not all people are interested in you, my friend. It is a harsh sentence. I know, but the truth is that all people are focused on themselves. There is no one who leaves his life and his concerns and sets his eyes on you and your behavior. I am waiting for you to make a mistake. People can make judgments. But these things remain fleeting and by chance, but the truth is that they are not focused on you or anything. Secondly, keep in mind that all people are afraid of the idea of rejection. You are not alone, and also many times people will criticize you. Their opinions of you reflect their own fears and faults. Therefore, do not take any criticism personally and bother yourself in vain, and before you ask people that they do not reject you, accept yourself for the first time, no matter what happens or what you do. Because many times this fear of rejection is due to not accepting mistakes and hating mistakes. The beginning is that you learn to accept yourself and sympathize with it, and finally and most importantly, are you, my friend? Walking next to the wall, on the wall, inside the wall, people talk and make judgments, so it's normal for you to stop. Wait before I don't want to tell you anything. Whatever thing you're afraid of, your fear is part of you. Try to listen to it and let it express itself. Accept it and know what he is trying to tell you. Is there anything that is really a source of danger to you that you should take care of, or is there something else hidden behind this fear that you should know and treat? My friend, ghosts never end. But now you know how to deal with any ghost and reject it. My role here is over. Honestly, that's enough of the horror. They got us out of this house of ghosts. They got us out.